I found the wedding photos on her Facebook. Not our wedding photos, the other wedding photos. The ones from 3 months before she married me. That's when I knew I'd been living a lie for over 2 years. I'm Rodney, 64 years old, from Manchester originally. Retired from the postal service with a decent pension, nothing extravagant, but enough to live comfortably in Thailand and still have money left over, enough to support a wife, enough to build a life with someone. That's what I thought I was doing. I met Sarada in March 2021. Not in a bar, I need you to understand that. I didn't meet her in Nana Plaza or on Walking Street or any of those places. I met her in a cafe in Siam Paragon, one of Bangkok's massive shopping centers. She was sitting alone with a laptop, and I was having my afternoon coffee, and when our eyes met, she smiled. A genuine smile. At least that's what I thought at the time. We started talking. Her English was quite good, better than most of the Thai people I'd met during my previous visits to Thailand. She told me she was studying marketing at Ramkhamhaeng University, 22 years old, from a small village in Udon Thani province. She'd come to Bangkok for university and was working part-time to support herself and send money back to her family. The noble, struggling student, I ate it up. She was beautiful. I'm not going to pretend that didn't matter. Long black hair, perfect skin, petite, maybe 5'2", and couldn't have weighed more than 100 pounds. When she laughed, her whole face lit up, and when she looked at me, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. I felt seen. I felt valued. I felt like maybe, just maybe, I wasn't just another lonely old farang drinking away his pension in Southeast Asia. We exchanged line contacts that day. She messaged me that evening. Just a simple, "It was nice to meet you today." But it made my heart race like I was a teenager again. Pathetic. I know. A 62-year-old man getting butterflies from a text message from a girl 4 decades younger than him. But there it was. Those first 3 months were magic. Pure magic. We'd meet 2 or 3 times a week, dinners, movies, walks around Lumpini Park. She never asked me for money. That was important to me. I'd heard all the stories about Thai girls and foreign men, and I was determined not to be one of those suckers. But Sarada never asked. She always offered to split the bill, though I never let her. She had her studies, her part-time job at a marketing company. I never saw where she worked, her life. I was just a part of it. By June, we were inseparable. She'd stay at my condo in Sukhumvit 3 or 4 nights a week. The sex was incredible. She was attentive, passionate, made me feel like a man half my age. We'd lie in bed afterward and she'd trace her fingers across my chest and tell me about her dreams. She wanted to open her own business someday, help her family build a better house in the village, maybe travel to Europe. With you, she'd always add. I want to see the world with you, Rodney. I was smitten. Completely, utterly smitten. In August, she took me to meet her family in Udon Thani. The village was exactly what you'd imagine: dirt roads, wooden houses, chickens and dogs wandering freely, rice paddies stretching to the horizon. Her parents were lovely. Her mother cooked the most incredible somtam and larb. Her father, a weathered man who barely spoke, smiled and nodded approvingly when Sarada introduced me as her boyfriend. There was a younger guy there too. Sarada introduced him as Kun Arthit, just a friend from the village, someone she'd known since childhood. He was maybe 25, fit, tattoos on his arms, rode a motorcycle. He barely looked at me, and I barely thought about him. Just another village kid. We stayed 3 days. I gave her parents 20,000 baht, not because Sarada asked, but because I wanted to help. They seemed genuinely grateful. Her mother hugged me. Her father shook my hand. Sarada cried happy tears on the bus ride back to Bangkok. They love you, she said, nestled against my shoulder. I love you. I told her I loved her too, and I meant it. By October, we were talking about marriage. It was her idea, actually. We were having dinner at a riverside restaurant in Asiatique when she brought it up. Rodney, she said, her voice soft, almost shy. Do you think, do you think maybe we could be together? Like, really together? Forever? I didn't even hesitate. I'd marry you tomorrow if you'd have me. Her face broke into the biggest smile I'd ever seen. She reached across the table and took my hands. Really? You want to marry me? More than anything. We got married on January 15th, 2022. Small ceremony, just us. 2 witnesses we hired from the district office, and a photographer. We did it at the Ampher in Bangkok. She wore a simple white dress she said she'd bought at Platinum Fashion Mall. She looked like an angel. I wore the best suit I owned. The whole thing cost maybe 15,000 baht, including the marriage certificate and photos. Afterward, we had a celebratory dinner at a nice hotel restaurant. She posted one photo on Facebook, just the 2 of us, her holding the marriage certificate, both of us smiling. The caption was in Thai. One TDT Sutne Chiwit, the best day of my life. 37 people liked it. I didn't know she had that many friends. We spent our wedding night in my condo. Made love. Fell asleep tangled together. When I woke up the next morning and saw her sleeping beside me, the early sunlight coming through the curtains catching in her hair, I thought, this is it. This is what happiness feels like. I was 62 years old. She was 22. We had a 40-year age gap. Everyone who knew about us, the few friends I'd made in Bangkok, my brother back in the UK, thought I was mad. You're being used, they'd say. Wake up before it's too late. But I'd point to the evidence. She never asked for money. She had her own life, her studies, her job. She wasn't some bar girl or gold digger. She was different. We were different. I thought our love was special. I thought I was special. I thought I'd finally found someone who saw past the age, past the nationality, past the money, someone who actually loved me for me. I was so incredibly, devastatingly wrong. The changes didn't happen all at once. That's what made them easy to ignore. If Sarada had suddenly transformed overnight, maybe I would have noticed. But it was gradual, subtle, the kind of thing you can rationalize away if you want to badly enough. And God, did I want to? The first thing I noticed was her phone. We'd been married maybe 6 weeks when I realized she'd started taking it everywhere. To the bathroom, to the kitchen when she made coffee. Even just moving from the living room to the bedroom, the phone came with her. It was always face down on tables now, where before she'd left its screen up, unlocked, like she had nothing to hide. One morning in early March, I picked it up to hand it to her. It had been buzzing on the nightstand while she was in the shower. She came out wrapped in a towel, saw me holding it, and her whole body tensed. Why you have my phone? Her English got worse when she was stressed. I'd noticed that before. It was ringing. I was just going to. She snatched it from my hand. Is private. Don't touch. I wasn't trying to look at anything. I know. Is okay. Just, please don't touch my phone. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I told myself it was nothing. Everyone's entitled to privacy. Just because we were married didn't mean she had to share everything with me. Thai culture values personal space differently. I was being a controlling old man. But the seed of doubt had been planted. By April, I started noticing she was going back to Udon Thani more often. Once or twice a month became every week. My mother is sick, she'd say. Or, my father needs help with something. Always a family emergency. Always urgent. I can come with you, I'd offer. No, is boring for you. Just stay Bangkok. I come back in 2 days. 2 days would become 3. 3 would become 4. She'd come back tired, distant. We'd have sex less frequently. When we did, she seemed distracted, going through the motions. Is everything okay? I asked her one night after a particularly passionless encounter. Yes, of course. I'm just tired. School is busy. But I'd stopped seeing her study. The laptop that had always been open. The textbooks that used to litter the coffee table, they were gone. When I asked about her classes, she gave vague answers. Is good. Teacher is nice. I learn marketing strategy. I realized I'd never actually seen her university ID, never been to her campus, never met any of her classmates. The red flags were adding up, but I was too scared to count them. In May, something happened that should have woken me up. Rod, mate, I need to tell you something, and you're not going to like it. My stomach dropped. What? I saw Sarada last week. In Udon Thani. Yes, she goes there to see her family. She wasn't with her family, mate. She was with a bloke, Thai guy, young, on a motorcycle. They were at a restaurant together, and he had his arm around her. Looked pretty cozy. The blood drained from my face. You must have seen someone else. Maybe it was Rodney. I know what your wife looks like. It was her. I'm sorry. I felt my hands start to shake. Not from anger, from fear. It was probably just a friend, a cousin, or something. Graham looked at me with pity. That's what killed me, the pity. Maybe. I hope so, mate. I really do. But I thought you should know. I thanked him. Went home. Didn't say anything to Sarada when she came home that evening. She kissed me hello, asked about my day, made pad krapao for dinner like nothing was wrong. That night, lying in bed while she slept beside me, I replayed Graham's words over and over. A Thai guy. Young. His arm around her. In Udon Thani. It could have been innocent. It probably was innocent. Graham had been drinking, maybe he didn't see clearly. Maybe it was a relative. Maybe it was nothing. I fell asleep telling myself it was nothing. June brought more distance. She was on her phone constantly now, but always typing in Thai, always angling the screen away from me. She'd get line messages at odd hours, midnight, 2 a.m., and would step out onto the balcony to check them. Who's messaging you so late? I asked one night. My friend. She have problem with boyfriend. She asked advice. Oh, that's nice of you to help. But I'd seen the notification preview before she'd picked up the phone. It wasn't from a girl. The name had been Chai, with a green shamrock emoji. Chai. A man's name. Who was Chai? I didn't ask. I should have asked. I was terrified of the answer. By July, the sex had almost stopped completely. We'd gone from 4 or 5 times a week to maybe once every 2 weeks, and even then it felt obligatory. She'd lie there, let me finish, then immediately get up to shower. No cuddling, no pillow talk, no intimacy beyond the physical act. Are you attracted to me anymore? I asked her once, hating how pathetic I sounded. Of course. I love you. I just tired, Rodney. Work is busy. School is busy. Family need me. I'm tired. But she wasn't too tired to be on her phone for hours. Wasn't too tired to go out with friends, who I never met. Wasn't too tired to make the 6-hour journey to Udon Thani every single week. The pattern was clear now. Monday through Wednesday. Relatively normal, though distant. Thursday. Would tell me she's going to Udon Thani. Thursday evening. Would leave. Returned Sunday evening or Monday morning. Exhausted, uncommunicative, went straight to shower every single week. Why do you have to go every week? I finally asked in late July. I told you, my mother is sick. She need help. Is it serious? Should we take her to a hospital in Bangkok? I can pay. No, is okay. She just need me there. You don't understand, Thai family. Children must take care of parents. I backed off. I didn't want to seem culturally insensitive. I didn't want to be the demanding farang husband who didn't respect Thai values. But something was wrong. I knew something was wrong. In August, I decided to look at her Facebook. She'd made me her husband on Facebook back when we got married, and we were friends on the platform, but I realized I'd never actually scrolled through her profile. I barely used Facebook myself. I'd only created an account to stay in touch with my brother. I clicked on her profile picture, saw she had 612 friends, saw she posted mostly in Thai stuff I couldn't read. I scrolled back through her photos. There were pictures of her with friends in Bangkok, pictures of food, pictures of her family's village, selfies, normal stuff. Then I saw something that made my chest tighten. It was a photo from June, a month ago. She was at a waterfall I didn't recognize, wearing a yellow dress I'd never seen. She was smiling at the camera, but she wasn't alone. In the background, slightly out of focus, was a young Thai man, same age as her maybe, fit, tattoos on his arms, sitting on a motorcycle. He looked familiar. It took me a moment to place him. Arthit, the friend from the village I'd met when I visited her family. Why was she at a waterfall with Arthit? I clicked on her tagged photos. There were more. Many more. Photos of her at restaurants in Udon Thani posted by other people, not by her. Photos of her at what looked like someone's birthday party. Photos of her at a temple. In several of them, Arthit was there, sometimes in the background, sometimes standing next to her. In one photo from July, they were sitting side by side at what looked like a family gathering, his hand on the bench behind her. My heart was racing now. I clicked on Arthit's profile. It was private. I couldn't see anything except his profile picture, him shirtless on a beach, looking exactly like every young Thai guy with a motorcycle and an attitude. I went back to Sarada's profile, scrolled further back before we got married, and that's when I found it. November 2021, 2 months before our wedding. A photo of Sarada in a traditional Thai dress, a beautiful silk sin and sabai. She was wearing flowers in her hair. She looked stunning. She was smiling at the camera, and standing next to her, his arm around her waist, wearing a traditional Thai men's outfit, was Arthit. The caption was in Thai. I copied it into Google Translate. Engagement ceremony. So happy. Love you forever. I stared at the screen. Read the translation again. Looked at the date. November 2021. We'd been dating since March. We'd been serious since June. We'd been talking about marriage since October. And in November, she'd gotten engaged to someone else. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. I felt dizzy, nauseous. The room was spinning. It had to be fake. A joke. Some kind of cultural thing I didn't understand. Thai people did engagement ceremonies differently, right? Maybe it was for her cousin? Maybe she was just in the photo and the caption was about someone else? I scrolled through the comments. 34 comments, all in Thai. I translated them one by one. So beautiful together. Congratulations, Sarada and Chai. Perfect couple. About time you two got married. Chai. The name from her late-night messages. Arthit. It was the same person. My wife had been engaged to another man 2 months before she married me. I didn't confront her that night. I don't know why. Maybe I was in shock. Maybe I was still hoping there was an innocent explanation. Maybe I was just a coward. When she came home from whatever she'd been doing that day, I honestly can't remember. Can't remember anything from those hours after I saw the photo except the pounding in my head and the sick feeling in my stomach. I acted normal. How was your day? I asked. Good. I meet my friend for lunch. How about you? Fine. Just stayed in, watched some television. She kissed me on the cheek and went to shower. I sat on the couch, my laptop still open to her Facebook profile, the engagement photo still on the screen, staring at me, mocking me. When she came out, hair wet, wearing one of my old t-shirts as a nightgown, I closed the laptop. Are you okay? She asked. You look sick, just tired. We went to bed. She fell asleep quickly. I lay awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. Who was I married to? The next morning, after she left to meet a friend for coffee, another vague plan, another few hours unaccounted for, I went deep into her Facebook. I looked at every photo, read every caption I could translate, looked at who liked what, who commented what, who was tagged where. A picture emerged. A picture I'd been too blind to see. Sirada and Arthit, who went by Chai, had been together since they were teenagers. High school sweethearts from the same village in Udon Thani. They dated for 6 years before the engagement ceremony in November 2021. There were photos of them going back to 2015, photos of them at festivals, at temples, at beaches, on his motorcycle, her arms wrapped around his waist, at family dinners, at New Year's celebrations. The last photo of them together, before I appeared in her life, was from October 2021, a month before the engagement, a week before she met me. They looked happy, in love, real. Then I appeared. Starting in April 2021, there were occasional photos of Sarada in Bangkok at cafes, shopping centers, tourist spots, always alone, never with me. She'd never posted a single photo of us together except for our wedding photo. But the photos from Udon Thani? Arthit was still there. Throughout our entire relationship, he was there, in the background, cropped out, tagged, but not highlighted. He'd never gone away. Our wedding was January 15th, 2022. I scrolled to her posts from January 2022. On January 12th, 3 days before our wedding, she'd posted a photo of herself and Arthit at a temple. The caption, "Making merit for good fortune." On January 20th, 5 days after our wedding, she'd been tagged in a photo at someone's birthday party in Udon Thani. Arthit was sitting next to her, their shoulders touching. She'd married me, then gone straight back to him. Had she ever left him at all? I needed to know more. I created a fake Facebook account, used a random British man's photo I found online, someone around my age, reasonably attractive, called myself William Thompson, added a bunch of random Thai women as friends, made it look legitimate. Then I friend requested Arthit. He accepted within an hour. His profile was public now that I was his friend. I saw everything. Photos of him and Sarada from February 2022, a month after our wedding, at restaurants, on his motorcycle, at a waterfall, the same one from the photo I'd seen, at his family's house. March, April, May, June, July, August. Every week, new photos, sometimes multiple times a week. They weren't hiding, at least not from their Thai friends and family. They were only hiding from me. I looked at the dates of the photos, cross-referenced with Sarada's weekly trips to visit her sick mother. Every trip, every single trip she'd told me was for family emergencies. She'd been with Arthit, the birthday parties, the temple visits, the waterfall trips, the family gatherings, all with him. I found a photo from someone else's wedding in June. Sarada and Arthit at the reception, dressed up, dancing. The caption from the person who posted it, "Best couple, when is your wedding?" Someone had replied, "Soon. They're waiting for chai to save money." My vision blurred. I had to close the laptop. I went to the bathroom and vomited. When she came home that evening, I was calmer, numb, almost. I watched her move around the apartment, heating up leftover rice, scrolling through her phone, humming to herself, and I felt like I was watching a stranger. "How was your friend?" I asked. "Good. We talk about her family problem. She feel better now." "That's good." She smiled at me. That same smile that had made me fall in love with her in Siam Paragon. But now I saw it differently. Now I saw the performance. "Are you going to Udon Thani this week?" I asked, keeping my voice casual. "Yes, probably Thursday. My mother's still not feeling well." "What's wrong with her exactly?" Sarada paused, just for a second. Her stomach problem. Very painful. "Has she seen a doctor?" Yes. Doctor, give medicine. But I need to help her, cook for her, take care." "Your father can't help?" "He working in farm, very busy." "I must go, Rodney. Is my duty as daughter." I nodded, smiled. "Of course. You're a good daughter." She looked relieved, came over and kissed the top of my head. "Thank you for understanding. You are good husband." The words felt like knives. That Thursday, she left for Udon Thani as planned. I waited 30 minutes after she'd gone. Then I checked Facebook. She'd posted a selfie from the bus, captioned, Going home to see May. I refreshed every hour. By 7 p.m. there was a new post, not from her, but tagged with her in it. Someone's cousin had posted a photo from a barbecue. Evening time, sunset in the background. There was Sarada, holding a bottle of Leo beer, laughing, and there was Arthit, standing behind her, hands on her shoulders. The caption, family barbecue. They looked like a couple. They looked natural together, comfortable, happy. I felt something break inside me that I don't think will ever heal. Friday morning, I got a message from her. Good morning, Ka, how are you? I miss you. I stared at the message for a long time before responding. Miss you too. How's your mother? Better today. She eat little bit. I cook her joke. Rice soup. That's good. When are you coming back? Maybe Sunday night or Monday morning. Depend on her condition. Okay. Take care of her. Thank you, Ka. Love you. I turned off my phone, sat in the silence of the empty condo, looked around at the life I'd built here, the furniture we'd bought together, the photos on the wall, our wedding photo, a photo of us at the Grand Palace, a photo of me and Sirada and her parents in the village. All lies. Every single thing was a lie. I spent the weekend documenting everything. Screenshots of Facebook photos, saved every post, every tag, every comment, created a timeline in a Word document. March 2021, met Sirada in Bangkok. October 2021, discussed marriage November 2021. She had engagement ceremony with Arthit the 15th of January 2022. Married Sirada January 20, 2022. She seen with Arthit at party February, August 2022. Weekly visits to sick mother equals time with Arthit. I had dates. I had photos. I had proof. But I still hadn't asked her. Still hadn't confronted her. Because part of me, a pathetic, desperate part of me, was still hoping I was wrong. Still hoping there was some explanation that would make this okay. There wasn't. Sunday night, she came home. She looked tired but happy, relaxed. She hugged me when she walked in, and I smelled cologne on her shirt. Not my cologne. Something else. Something musky and young. How was your trip? I asked. Good. My mother is better. I think she will be okay now. That's wonderful news. She went to shower. I sat on the couch, my heart pounding, my hands sweating. When she came out, I was still sitting there, frozen. Rodney? You okay? Shiv reminded is great. Can we talk? Her face changed, just slightly. A flicker of something fear, guilt. Of course. What about? Sit down. She sat on the opposite end of the couch, curled her legs under her, waited. I pulled out my phone, opened Facebook, turned the screen toward her. Who is Arthit? Her eyes went wide. Just for a second. Then she recovered, but I'd seen it. The panic. He is my friend. From village, I told you before. Just a friend? Yes. We know each other since children. I swiped to the next photo. The engagement photo from November 2021. Is this a friend? Because the caption says engagement ceremony. The color drained from her face. She stared at the photo, then at me, then back at the photo. That is old, from long time ago. November 2021, 2 months before we got married. It not real engagement, is just traditional ceremony, not real. The comments say, congratulations. They call you a perfect couple. They ask when the wedding is. You don't understand Thai culture. Is different, is not same as farang wedding. My voice was shaking now. Are you still with him? No, I not with him. We break up long time ago. I swiped to the next photo. June 2022. The waterfall. This is from 2 months ago. He is just friend. We can be friends. Next photo. July. The wedding reception. Them dancing together. Friends? Why you spy on me? Why you go through my Facebook? Why are you lying to me? She stood up, her whole body tense. Not lying. You are crazy. You are jealous old man who don't trust me. Every week you go to Udon Thani. Every week you tell me it's for your sick mother. And every week you're with him. I've seen the photos, Sarada. I've seen all of them. My mother is sick. I go to help her. If I see Chai when I'm in village, is because he lived there too. I cannot avoid. You were engaged to him 2 months before you married me. That not real. Is traditional thing, not real. Were you with him before you met me? She hesitated. Just a second too long. We dated when we were young. Long time ago. Before you. How long before me? I don't know. Long time. Were you still with him when we met? No. When did you break up with him? I told you. Long time ago. Before or after we started dating? Before, but her eyes were lying. Everything about her was lying. I felt tears burning in my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. I don't believe you. I don't care. Believe what you want. You want to think I'm a bad person. You think, I know truth. Then tell me the truth. I tell you truth. You don't believe because you want to think Thai girl is liar. You want to think I use you for money. Just like all farang think. This isn't about you being Thai. This is about you lying to me. I'm not lying. She was screaming now, tears streaming down her face, but I couldn't tell if they were real or performative. I couldn't tell anything anymore. Every Thursday, I said, my voice cold now, dead. Every Thursday, you leave. Every Sunday, you come back. And every weekend, you're with him. I've seen the photos. You're not visiting your mother. You're visiting him. My mother lives same village. Of course I see him. Is small village. Are you sleeping with him? No. Are you still in love with him? No. I love you. Then why? My voice cracked. I had to stop. Breathe. Start again. Then why do you spend more time with him than with me? She was silent. Why do you look happier in photos with him than you ever look with me? Silence. Why did you marry me if you were engaged to him? And finally, she broke. She sat down, put her face in her hands, started crying. Real crying this time, I think. Her whole body shaking. I don't know, she whispered. The truth came out slowly, in pieces, over hours of crying, arguing, more crying. She and Arthit had been together since they were 16. First love, only love. Everyone in the village expected them to get married. His family and her family were close. It was understood. But Arthit didn't have money. He worked odd jobs, construction, motorcycle, taxi, helping at his uncle's farm. He couldn't support a wife, couldn't support her family, couldn't give her the life she wanted. So when she came to Bangkok for university paid for by loans and her parents' life savings, she'd started looking for a foreigner, someone who could give her what Arthit couldn't. She met me in March 2021, 6 months into her search. I wasn't her first. I was maybe her third or fourth. The others had been too young, too poor, too suspicious. But I was perfect, old enough to be grateful, rich enough to be useful, naive enough to believe everything she told me. She'd never broken up with Arthit. The engagement ceremony in November had been real, a promise to her family and his that she would marry him eventually. But she needed money first, needed security first. That's where I came in. The plan had been to marry me, get British citizenship, save money, then divorce me after a few years and go back to Arthit. She'd marry him with the money I'd given her, build the house I'd paid for, start the business I'd funded. I was never her husband. I was her investment. Did you ever love me? I asked her at some point during that long, horrible night. She looked at me with red, swollen eyes. I care about you. You are good man, kind man. But you don't love me. She didn't answer, which was answer enough. Are you sleeping with him? Yes, the word hung in the air. I'd known it. Of course I'd known it. But hearing it out loud was different. Every week? Yes. In your family's house? Sometimes. Sometimes his house, sometimes hotel, while I'm here, waiting for you, sending you money, thinking you're taking care of your mother. She started crying again. I'm sorry. I don't mean to hurt you, but you did it anyway. I love Chai. I love him since I was young. Then why did you marry me? Because we need money. She was shouting again, angry now. You don't understand. You come to Thailand, you have pension, you have money, you live easy. We have nothing. My family have nothing. Chai have nothing. We work hard every day and still have nothing. You have everything. So you decided to take it. I decide to survive. This is how Thai girls survive. We do what we must do. I felt something shift in me. The last bit of hope, the last shred of love I'd felt for her, it died. Just went dark and cold and empty. Get out, I said. What? Get out of my apartment. Now. Rodney. Please. Now. She flinched, stared at me, then stood up, went to the bedroom, started throwing clothes into a bag. 10 minutes later, she was at the door, bag in hand, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry, she said one more time. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. She opened her mouth to argue, then closed it, nodded, turned and left. The door closed behind her. I stood in the middle of the apartment I'd rented, furnished, paid for, thinking it was our home, and I felt nothing, just empty. The next morning, I checked Facebook one more time. Sirata had posted a photo at 6 a.m., her and Arthit, on his motorcycle, sunrise behind them. She was hugging him from behind, her face pressed against his back. The caption, finally home, finally home. Not Bangkok, not with me. Home was with him. It always had been. I spent the next week in a fog. I couldn't eat, could barely sleep. I'd lie in bed at 3 a.m. and replay every conversation we'd ever had, looking for the truth beneath the lies. Had she meant it when she said she loved me that first time? No, probably not. Had any of the sex been real? Probably not. Had she ever actually been a university student? I realized I'd never verified that either. The marketing company she worked for, did it even exist? Or was that another lie? Had her parents known? Of course they'd known. The whole village had known. When I'd visited, thinking I was being welcomed into the family, they'd all been in on the joke. The stupid old farang who thought a 2-year-old girl actually wanted him. I found myself crying at random times. In the shower, making coffee, watching television, just sudden waves of grief that would knock me sideways. I mourned her. Even though she'd never been real, I mourned who I thought she was. Graham called me a week after Sarada left. I heard what happened, he said. I'm sorry, mate. How did you hear? Expat community? Word gets around. Of course it did. I was probably the talk of every bar in Sukhumvit. The old fool who married a girl young enough to be his granddaughter and was shocked when she had a Thai boyfriend the whole time. I tried to warn you, Graham said, and he didn't sound smug. He sounded sad. When I saw her with that bloke in Udon Thani, I know. You did. I didn't want to hear it. None of us do, mate. That's the problem. 2 weeks after she left, Sarada messaged me. Rodney, can we talk? I need to explain something. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I blocked her number. There was nothing left to explain. The divorce was finalized in October 2022, 9 months of marriage. I didn't contest anything, didn't ask for money back, just wanted it over. I paid a lawyer 40,000 baht to handle everything. Sarada signed the papers without argument. I never saw her again. The whole thing, from the day I met her to the day the divorce was final, had lasted 18 months. I'd spent approximately 850,000 baht on her during that time. Rent, food, gifts, money for her family, the wedding, her university expenses, medical bills for her sick mother, almost 1 million baht for a lie. It's been over a year now since the divorce. I'm still in Thailand. I moved to Chiang Mai, wanted a fresh start away from Bangkok and all the memories. I live alone in a small apartment near Nimon Road. Simple life. Quiet. I've thought a lot about what happened. Tried to understand it. Tried to make sense of how I could have been so blind. The truth is, I saw what I wanted to see. Every red flag, every inconsistency, every lie, I rationalized them all because the alternative was too painful. The alternative meant admitting that I wasn't special, that my love couldn't overcome a 42-year age gap, that a beautiful 22-year-old woman from a poor village might have had reasons other than genuine affection for marrying a 64-year-old British retiree. I wanted so badly to believe that love was enough, that I was enough. I wasn't. I found out more about Sarada in the months after we separated, through Facebook, through mutual acquaintances, through the relentless information sharing of the expat community. She married Arthit in December 2022, traditional Thai ceremony in her village. Her parents hosted. Apparently it was quite beautiful. They used some of my money, the money I'd given her for her sick mother, for her university education, to renovate her family's house. Added a new room, new roof, bought a water buffalo for the farm. Arthit opened a small motorcycle repair shop with the rest. They're still together, as far as I know, living in Udon Thani. Probably happy. I wonder sometimes if she thinks about me. Probably not often. Maybe when she sees an older Western man with a young Thai woman and remembers how easy it was. I haven't dated since. Can't bring myself to. Every time I see a younger Thai woman smile at me, I wonder what she wants. Wonder if she's running the same game Sarada ran. It's made me bitter. I don't like who I've become. Suspicious, cynical. I used to be optimistic, trusting. Now I question everything. Some of my expat friends say I should try again. Not all Thai women are like that, they tell me. And logically, I know they're right. I know there are genuine relationships between Western men and Thai women. I know there are real love stories. But I can't make myself believe it anymore. Sarada broke something in me that I don't think can be fixed. Here's what I learned, for what it's worth. The age gap matters. I don't care what anyone says. When a woman is young enough to be your granddaughter, and she claims to be in love with you, ask yourself, would she be interested if you were her age and broke? If the answer is no, you have your answer. If she won't introduce you to her life, she's hiding you for a reason. Was never invited to her part-time job, only met her family once, in a controlled environment where they could perform for me. She kept me separate because she was living two lives. When someone changes their phone habits, investigate immediately. The sudden password, the taking it everywhere, the face down on tables. These aren't privacy preferences, these are concealment tactics. Trust your friends when they try to warn you. Graham tried to tell me. I got defensive, made excuses, chose her lies over his truth. Don't do that. Your friends have no reason to lie to you. She does. Social media doesn't lie. If your girlfriend has a whole online life you're not part of, there's a reason. If she posts constantly but never posts about you, there's a reason. If she has hundreds of friends you've never met and they're all speaking a language you don't understand, you're the outsider in her real life. Visiting family every single week for years is not normal. Unless someone is actively dying, nobody needs to visit their parents every single week for 2 years. That was the biggest red flag. And I ignored it because I didn't want to seem controlling. The worst part, and this is hard to admit, is that part of me still misses her. Not the real her, obviously. I miss who I thought she was. I miss the feeling of being in love. I miss waking up next to someone. I miss feeling wanted. I know it was fake. I know she never loved me. But my heart doesn't care. It remembers the good moments and forgets they were performed. That's what makes this kind of betrayal so devastating. You don't just lose the person, you lose every memory you had with them. Every moment you thought was real becomes a lie in retrospect. Your entire relationship history gets rewritten as a con job. I'll never know if she felt anything for me at all. Maybe in her own way, she did care. Maybe she felt guilty. Maybe there were moments when she enjoyed my company, or maybe it was all calculation, start to finish. Maybe every laugh, every kiss, every I love you was part of the script. I'll never know, and that uncertainty is its own kind of torture. I'm 65 now, too old to start over, too scarred to try. I'll probably live out the rest of my retirement alone, here in Chiang Mai, going through the motions. Some of my friends have suggested I move back to the UK, but what's there for me? I left for a reason. At least here the weather's nice, the food is good, the cost of living is low. And maybe, in some pathetic way, I'm still hoping that I'll meet someone genuine, someone who actually wants me for me, not my pension. But I don't believe it will happen. Sirata killed that hope. If you're reading this and you're in a similar situation, older Western man, young Thai girlfriend, something feels off but you're ignoring it, please listen to your gut. If she's going home every week, she's going to someone else. If her phone is suddenly password protected, she's hiding someone else. If her friends and family don't treat you like her real partner, it's because you're not. If she won't let you into her real life, it's because you're not part of it. If it feels too good to be true, it is. I wish someone had told me this before I married her. I wish I'd listened to Graham. I wish I'd trusted my instincts instead of my lonely heart, but I didn't. And I paid for it. Don't make my mistake. Don't be Rodney.